We'll be ranking every team's receiver groups on a tier list.
We're going to be adding in the tight end as well. So we're technically ranking everyone's pass catchers in a tier list, wide receiver group plus their tight end group. And we're going to start off with the New Orleans Saints. And they, for me, are going in average. And that is because I know when Chris Olave is healthy, he is a stud. Rashid Shaheed is a solid number 2, in my opinion, and obviously a great deep threat as well. And if you want to factor in Alvin Kamara's receiving ability, I know it's not running backs, but overall, for me, the reason why they're not at the lowest tier is because of Chris Olave, and I know what he can do when he's healthy.
Yeah, obviously, if we're basing this just Chris Olave, this could just go all the way maybe a tier above. But as a group, I'll agree with it for now. It's just a start. There are other teams that I am looking that could be either the same par or below. Next up for me, the Miami Dolphins. I think they're great. Like, obviously, if Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill, then they jump up here easily, right? But like obviously a lot of Tyreek's success is dependent on Tua, but this is strictly the receiving group. But for now, I think they're there. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, that's like a top 5, top 10 duo in the NFL. Darren Waller, let's see what he looks like on his retirement. He's the X factor.
That's the question mark here, because when you're going to look into it and you're going to look into elite teams, they're going to have the tight end as well, along with a wide receiver 1 and a wide receiver 2, maybe even a wide receiver 3. With the Dolphins, the tight end is a question mark, and the wide receiver 3 is usually a question mark. We know Hill and Waddle as a duo, they're like elite if you're doing wide receiver duos only. But when you're looking at the whole entire group, there are teams that are more filled out and rounded out better than the Miami Dolphins. But yeah, they're great for sure.
Next up is the Baltimore Ravens. This is a weird one. For me, they're either solid or great, but because they don't have like that elite level duo like the Dolphins do, I'm willing to put them in solid.
A big factor here is Mark Andrews is on a decline right now because he did not have a great year. Isaiah Likely, as a combo as a tight end, is pretty solid, but like overall, their tight ends, it's weird to say it, but have been weaker, and it hasn't been this weak in a while. But we'll see if Likely could step up. He's also injured too and been injury prone a little bit in the last couple of years. In terms of receivers, Hopkins is an approved deal, essentially, so we don't know what he is. I know if it's like Houston, DeAndre Hopkins, and we already know that these guys are going to be great. Zay Flowers, again, very solid receiver, number 1 for sure. But when you're looking at it, he's not in the upper tier of wide receivers. Like Tyreek Hill, we know, is in the upper tier because of obviously when he's on the field and successful. Tyreek Hill is a stud. We all know that. With the Ravens, it feels like they have good, solid pieces around, like they have their roster rounded out well, but they don't have the elite guy to push them up, in my opinion.
I mean, Hopkins, like obviously that last year was his first true bad year in his NFL career. I'm expecting a bounce back. This team as a group can potentially go up to great. We'll see how it ends up happening for them. Next up, I mean, there's no questions asked. The Cincinnati Bengals. You have the top 2 receiver in Jamar Chase. You have a top 5, top 3 second receiver in T. Higgins. Mike Gesicki had a really good year to back him up. He brought in Noah Fant, who I feel like is okay. Like he's
and Andre
Iosivas was a solid
wide receiver 3 as a rookie last year as well. So like, there's enough said about the Bengals. There's no debates about this one.
Next up for us, it is the Denver Broncos, and for me, I'm gonna put them in solid. I just think they have a bunch of solid pieces. They don't have that guy, like the one stud, right? Like how these teams above them do right now. They're at the similar level as the Baltimore Ravens, but like Cortland Sutton, solid. Evan Ingram, they brought in, he's a solid tight end. Those are probably their 2 main pass catchers as well.
With Cortland Sutton, I guess you could like kind of compare it to the Ravens and like say Zay Flowers. These guys are studs. Like they're legit, they're wide receiver 1s. Don't get me wrong. Like they have that talent, but they're not the elite, right? So that's why they're in solid. In terms of like help wise, you said Evan Ingram, that's a good solid tight end for sure. I agree with that. But after that, wide receiver wise, Marvin Mims, I know he's a speed demon, deep ball threat, but like it doesn't really push it up for me in my opinion. Yeah. But like in terms of like Sutton and Ingram, like that's very solid.
Next up is a weird one in the New York Giants, right? So like obviously if this was just strictly Malik Neighbors, he would go up here. But Malik Neighbors, Wanda Robinson had a really good year last year in my opinion, and Darius Slayton as a 3 is not bad. I'm not too personally familiar with the tight ends. I'll let you maybe talk about that a little bit if you do. But for me, I don't know. I think average to start. I could see a case for solid.
No.
Sorry.
No,
I said Malik Neighbors.
They're not average, bro.
Solid. Sorry. Solid.
Bro, here's the thing. I could push for great. I really can. And obviously a big reason is Malik Neighbors. And that's why they're like climbing up the tiers. Wandale Robinson is still a question mark in terms of can he be a little bit more consistent. If he is, the Wandell, like last year was like where you saw this guy, kind of play like to his expectations that we have on Wandell Robinson. I believe the 17th pick, something around in that range when he was drafted by the New York Giants. Theo Johnson as tight end, we've seen this guy show promise. He's obviously still developing, and if he is on that track where he's improving every year, they could push up. But as of this moment, I would say solid. But like this is a team that could really end up in great, in my opinion.
Just to correct you, Wandell Robinson wears 17, but he was just round 2 pick 43 overall for them.
Okay, so I mixed it up with Traylon Burks. That's what I did.
Yeah, even though they don't have him.
Yeah, I know, but like in terms of like the wide receivers, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I agree with that. I mixed up the wrong New York team. That's why. But next up, it is the Minnesota Vikings. I think right here, right? Like they have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I know he's starting his year off with a suspension, but we know he'll be back. And then obviously TJ Hawkinson's a top 5 tight end in my opinion, probably in the NFL. Like they're as a collective, they might be even better than the Bengals because I think Hawkinson's better than Gesicki. Simple as that. Like, enough said?
Enough said.
Next up is the LA Rams, and I'm also putting them in elite. I think if Puka's healthy, especially this year, he's considered a top 10 wide receiver. I still think Devontae Adams can be a number 1 somewhere in the league, and the fact that you put both of them together, in my opinion, he's probably the best wide receiver 2 in the NFL. And then Tyler Higbee, hopefully he's healthy this year, is a solid tight end. Parkinson last year, when he stepped in, was pretty good for them. So I think, again, as a
when
trio,
you're looking as a duo as well, just like the duo itself is just so elite.
Yeah.
Like it's literally top 3.
Like those 3 teams are top 3 duos
wide
in
receiver
the NFL.
duos, yeah, for sure.
Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am putting them in great. People that have watched us, they know my thoughts on Mike Evans. He's Mr. Study, Mr. 1,000 receiving yards every year in the NFL. For sure, Hall of Famer. Chris Godwin is starting off the year injured, but he is anticipated to come back in October. Kate Otton's a solid tight end there. And not even if the fact that Chris Godwin is out, you drafted Emeka Egbuka, who's a really good wide receiver. Ohio State, which means he's gonna be good in the NFL, like every other Ohio State running or wide receiver we see as well.
Enough said.
Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions are elite, bro.
Elite?
Here's the thing. Amon-Ra's top 10. Agreed, right?
Yeah.
Sam Laporta is coming off a little bit of a slump in his second year, I believe, or third. Is it third year? I'm already tripping out. But whatever it is, he's coming off a little bit of a down year. But we know what Sam Laporta can be and who Sam Laporta is. Jameson Williams has really stepped up over the years, right? So with him being the number 2 option and obviously having his speed, deep threat, rushing ability, and we've seen this guy literally take over games for them, for the Detroit Lions last year. Again, I won't say like, top 5 wide receiver duo, but like they are one of the top wide receiver duos. And we know if Sam Laporta is playing like Sam Laporta, they're a stud. He's a stud.
Yeah, Sam Laporta's going into his third year, 2023, 2024.
Yeah, so like his rookie year was incredible.
Yeah.
He has a sophomore slump, so...
Yeah, well, this team's going to be interesting to watch because they don't know how Ben Johnson anymore. Hopefully, that doesn't reduce the...
But as a weapons on paper, like, it's elite,
great.
bro. Like, that's because of Jameson stepping up.
Chicago Bears, I'm going to put them in solid right now. Obviously, they're the team that has Ben Johnson, so we might see a lot of positivity from their receiving group as well. DJ Moore, like down year last year, but still a solid receiver. You have Roman Dunze, you drafted Luther Burden, you have Cole Kmet, who I think is an underrated tight end in the NFL, and you drafted Colston Loveland as well. So they have a lot of solid pieces with potential that can push them into great come end of the year.
Yeah, DJ Moore, again, I feel like falls in a similar level of Sutton and Zay Flowers for me. DJ Moore last year struggles is because like there's just a shit show in Chicago. Because on paper, when you're looking at it, we see the talent. The tight end duo could be one of the better duos in the NFL if Colston Loveland lives up to it and Cole Kmet does his thing. For me, it's gonna come down to obviously the young guys in Odunze and Burden. If they are playing as advertised, because we know Odunze didn't have a great rookie year.
Yeah, Odunze hype out of the draft was considered to be up there.
If they step up, these guys could push up into great and elite by the end of the year, in my opinion, if they play as advertised.
San Francisco, weird one, right? Because Ayuk is still injured. We don't know how long when he's going to be coming back exactly. And then you got your Jawan Jennings had a really good year. He should be ready for week 1. After that, Ricky Pearsall, like great story last year. Can he be the emerging guy that they took in the first round? But because they have George Kittle alone, they're easily here at the minimum to start. you could make a case for solid if you want. I'm gonna put him there for now. I'll let you say your
Look,
piece.
do I project him to be solid? I think so. Ricky Pearsall ended off the year really good last year. So we're seeing this guy emerge into that first round pick. So there's a lot of hype surrounding him. Obviously, even in fantasy, there's a lot of hype surrounding him because he could get touches because Ayuk is out. Juwan Jennings, we've seen this guy in San Francisco's offense, excel, especially as the number 2 and number 3 wide receiver. So obviously, I expect Juwan Jennings to do his thing still, but it's gonna be like that feels like projection still.
There's question marks.
Yeah, there's question marks. That feels like I could see the potential. I could see arguments why you could put him up a tier. But like you said, George Kittle just solidifies them, and the reason why they're not at the lowest tier is because of Kittle. Kittle just moves them up a tier in general. So for as of right now, because of the wide receiver question marks, I would agree.
Next up is the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they're Super Bowl champs. AJ Brown's probably a top 5 receiver. Devontae Smith's a top 5, top 10 second receiver. Dallas Goedert, I still think, is an underrated tight end in the league. I think that if you have Detroit here, you have to put Philly there. Next one, another interesting. Anything else? Sorry?
Well, I'm just saying the case is made.
Next up, the Las Vegas Raiders. Brock Bowers alone might have to put them in solid. And then you have a really good receiver in Jacoby Myers as well. Whereas like George Kittle, we don't have that proven receiver. It will be Ayuk. If Ayuk is healthy, these guys would jump up here. We'll make that case for later. But Brock Bowers has such an elite rookie year, right? Breaking records and everything. And Jacoby Myers is a solid receiver. I'm not going to put him in like the great tier or anything if we were doing just a wide receiver tier. Obviously, as of this recording, there's reports that he requested a trade, I think because of contract situations as well. But as of right now, he's on the roster when we're doing this. He's here. If you want to put him down, fair. Or I don't think he can go anything higher than solid.
Like when you're looking at it, they have 2 proven pieces.
Yeah.
Compared to the Saints, only have 1. The Niners only have 1 at the moment, but like obviously you have a case of 3 potentially. So these are probably one of the teams I would push up here just because obviously we know what Brock Bowers can do.
He's the real deal.
He's literally the real deal.
It's not going to be a rookie.
Yeah. And with the help of Jacoby Myers, obviously you have a good, like in terms of Brock Bowers a 1, Jacoby Myers as a 2. If we're looking at it all pass catchers, that's pretty solid. And I would put him in, that is solid, yeah. So a solid tier.
Green Bay is a weird one, right? They have a bunch of wide receiver 2s and 3s. They finally drafted a skill position player in the first round since like 02 was it or whatever the case may be. And obviously we're talking about Matthew Golden, but like if you're talking about Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs is currently they're starting. I think Christian Watson is out for the year. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'll double check that. Tucker Kraft, we'll see if he takes another jump this year as well. I don't know. Do you think solid or do you think average? But because they have a bunch of collective pieces.
Yeah, it's a collective. It's solid. And here's the reason why. Do they have the elite? Maybe even they don't even have the solid wide receiver that or like a first option that like puts them up there. But like you said, the collection of talent that they have makes them as a group a solid group because 1, there's versatility. Jaden Reed brings the speed, right? And also the end around factor as well. Christian Watson is a great contested catcher, right? If he's, when he's on the field. Obviously, Christian Watson has dealt with his fair share of injuries, but when he's on the field, he's one of the better contested catchers.
He's starting on the pup list
in the league. Romeo Dobbs had a lot of question marks last year, and he stepped up, in my opinion, because it felt like Dobbs was the one that was feeling left out from the year prior's success, but Romeo Dobbs had a pretty solid year. Matthew Golden. Obviously, we'll see if he's a real deal.
He has the potential to be
to be that number 1. In terms of tight ends, Kraft and Musgrave, pretty solid tight end duo. Tucker Kraft, again, could be on like the Sam Laporta run type of thing, Dalton Cade type of vibe as well. So like, I would say solid just because of the collection of talent and how well-rounded they are and how they complement each other as well.
Next up is the Washington Commanders, and as of this recording, it's announced that Terry McLaurin is officially gonna be playing. He is signed the contract extension. So with that in mind, obviously we know he's a top. I think this past year strictly he was a top 10 receiver. You bring in a guy like Deebo Samuel, right? Who's projected to have a bounce back year. I think Zach Ertz was a solid tight end, right? Like I think he was at least at the Gesicki level in my opinion last year as well. So I don't know. Like I think great.
I'd put him in great.
I think though.
Honestly, when you're looking at this situation and right now, we're seeing what Terry McLaurin did last year.
Yeah.
Like that was like, literally top 10 wide receiver-esque.
And he was doing that with like a bunch of random quarterbacks before, and now you have a solidified guy.
Deebo Samuel, I know there has been a lot of question marks for him in the last couple of years, but in terms of looking at preseason, looking at camp, this guy it looks like this guy is motivated. Obviously, he is the question mark here. Zach Ertz, I liked him last year. Like he was pretty solid even at his age. But with Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and like we know what he can be, I would put him in great still. Yeah, I would agree.
All right, I'm going to put these two together. We have the Arizona Cardinals and the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to start off with Arizona very quickly. I'm going to put them in solid, but they have the potential to not even just be great, but elite. And it all depends on Marvin Harrison Jr. Trey McBride has shown like last year's a top 3 tight end in the NFL. Like last year, strictly, the guy was a monster for them, right? I like Michael Wilson as a wide receiver too. Marvin Harrison Jr. was supposed to be this next generational type wide receiver coming out. He did not have the greatest rookie year, right? People are saying right now even Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. are probably better than him even for the future. So he has stuff to prove. I project him to take a step forward this year. So, but until that happens, I have to put him in solid because they have one elite guy in Trey McBride, obviously, which matches up what Brock Bowers does in terms of like productivity. But I can't put him in this tier yet. If Marvin Harrison Jr. does pop off, then you have the two, like you have a duo essentially set up there.
Yeah, if he does pop off, then he'll go an elite. Atlanta Falcons also joined them in the solid tier, and the reason is one, because Drake London had a breakout year last year and finally looked like that first round pick that the Atlanta Falcons selected. Darnell Mooney as a number 2 is very good. He was pretty solid last year.
He's better than Michael Wilson.
I would rather have Darnell Mooney as my. I would have my Darnell Mooney. If Darnell Mooney is my 2, I would be really happy as long as I have a very elite 1.
Yeah.
And Drake London played like an elite 1 last year. Kyle Pitts is the X factor here. And if Kyle Pitts plays like the Kyle Pitts in Florida, then yeah, this team could definitely go
Jump
up to
elite.
Great and elite, like how the case is for Marvin Harrison Jr. and the Arizona Cardinals. But at the moment, he hasn't done that. And it's looking a little bit more that for the Falcons that they're going to stay in this tier more so than the Cardinals because Marv is entering his second year. Pitts is probably entering his like 5th or 6th, and we're kind of looking at like Pitts is like, yeah, this is who Pitts is.
This is his last chance to prove that he is an elite.
But like,
tight end. Yeah,
not really, bro. Like I don't know. Like I've written him off right now. I'll be honest with you. But we'll see if Penix gets it done. If Penix is a QB,
there was a good start to the camp. I don't know how it
we'll
ended
see
up
though.
being,
But there have been a lot of good starts to Pitts camps as well. But before, but when you're looking at it, when his rookie year was good. You actually wasn't bad in his rookie year.
Yeah.
But like he just hasn't lived up to it at all.
Next up is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is a weird one. DK Metcalf is now officially the wide receiver 1. There, you have Calvin Austin, Robert Woods, who's obviously aging, and then you have Pat Freiermuth as their tight end spot. I want to say. Like, DK has the potential to push this up, right? But DK has been relatively inconsistent in my year. I could see an argument here. I think Pat Freiermuth is underrated. But if you want to put him down here because Kittle is down here, and then you put him at the same, then I understand that as well.
Like they have Kittle and Freiermuth. I'm not Kittle. They have a Freiermuth and a DK.
But Kittle,
I'm not usually high on DK. I'll be honest with that. I really am not. But like if I'm trying to get away a little bit of the biasness out of it, he is a good wide receiver when he's on his game. It's just that issue is he's sometimes inconsistent. Sometimes has the drops, and also sometimes is a hothead.
Is he better than any of the receivers? Just
like DK Metcalf.
He's behind Bowers.
But like look at the. You got to look at Zay Flowers and Cortland Sutton and
That's
DJ
what I'm
Moore.
saying.
I would say DK Metcalf's in that tier.
And then you have Pat Freiermuth to add.
And you have Pat Freiermuth. So I would push him up to solid.
Okay, so then
because of that,
I'm gonna go back to San Francisco then. If Ayuk is healthy, does this get?
But he's not healthy. He's coming off freaking ACL, bro. I can't factor. Like that's a big injury. Like that's a literal massive injury. So like there's a clear difference there. And with the 49ers, it's a wait and see. With DK, we kind of have evidence of this guy being, a bona fide number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, because Ayuk is out till at least week 6.
Yeah, like it's an ACL, bro. Like it's not a freaking light injuries coming back.
Yeah, because this is strictly off heading into the week 1 as well. So okay, that's fair. Moving on.
Move on. Buffalo.
Again, another weird one. They have 2 tight end combo. But their receivers, like, they need to prove it a little bit more for me. They have Keon Coleman, they have Khalil Shakir, and then obviously they brought in Palmer from the Chargers. I'll let you decide. Do you want to put them here? Because if you put Pittsburgh here, I feel like they need to come here if they have a good 2 tight end system and Keon Coleman has potential. Or do you think they're average?
I'll put them in solid. And the reason is because Shakir has shown some. Shakir has shown something.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman has obviously the potential, and Joshua Palmer is a very good number 3. If you have Joshua Palmer as your number 3 wide receiver, that means you have a good wide receiver depth.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they have eliteness of like, Chase or Jefferson, because like obviously Shakir is not that, and Keon Coleman is definitely not that at the moment. But when I'm looking at it, the two like you love the tight ends, like Knox and Kincaid, solid. Like that's gonna push it up a tier for sure. But when you're looking at the combination of wide receivers, like are they the middle of the pack? Probably, right? You're probably not high. I would understand if you're not high on the Buffalo Bills wide receiver, but like the Green Bay Packers, they have a good, well-rounded depth at wide receiver.
Like for me, if you put
which means that like anyone, like last year we saw Matt Collins step up, and become like the main pass catcher last year. Like they have that potential. Like Palmer could do it any game, Shakir could do it any game. Another game it could be Keon Coleman.
Yeah,
and with the combo of the tight ends.
Best way to put it, again, we're not putting tight end or quarterback in consideration, obviously, because they don't catch often. But like Josh Allen with any of these receivers will also be solid, right? So like at the end of the day, I feel like if you switch receivers, this still should be good enough with another quarterback, in my opinion. But next up is the Seattle Seahawks. I think as of right now, they are solid. JSN, potential, right? Like we talk about Chris Olave, JSN had a really good year last year. They obviously lose DK Metcalf, but they bring in Cooper Kupp, who's going to try to prove that he is still a pretty solid receiver. And one thing I want to say quickly, I'm not too familiar with their tight ends. I'm going to say that right now.
The tight ends are young. That's the thing. Yeah. The tight ends are young. They have potential, right? They drafted Arroyo in the second round. Like he was in a lot of people's... He was in that range in terms of tight ends. Again, JSN, he's a stud. It's as simple as that. He's a stud. Cooper Kupp still got it. I think as long as he's healthy, he's going to produce.
They have like potential to be up here too.
They do have the potential. It's just the tight ends are holding me back just because they are unproven and we don't know who they are or who they can be. But as of right now, I would say solid. But if there's anyone like them, the Cardinals, the Falcons are like probably like up there in my opinion that could push up to great if I were to push up anyone.
Yeah, because like they're obviously banking on AJ Barner to be the guy. Again, not too familiar, so we'll just keep it there for now. But again, with that duo has the potential to move up.
As long as Kupp's healthy, because we know, like, I know when Kupp's healthy what he can do. Yeah, right. Like he's given that reputation for me where I don't have to question him.
New England Patriots. Are they meh or are they average? Hunter Henry is their tight end. You got bring in Stephon Diggs, who is coming off an injury but has looked at camp so far. And then
put him in a tier. Then I'll
put him in meh.
I want to push up one.
Okay, so off the bat, push him off.
Bro, Hunter Henry doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
I really think Hunter Henry, this guy is literally plays the tight end role so well in terms of being the safety blanket. He did it for Justin Herbert and helped Justin Herbert develop. He's doing that for Drake May right now. Stephon Diggs, I mean, did I already convince you?
No. I just moved it. I just put it here for right now.
Okay, Stephon Diggs. Obviously, his final Bills year wasn't good, and I'm a Stephon Diggs guy. When he first came to Buffalo, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you he was complete ass and win the Bills, and he costed the Buffalo Bills that year, even in the playoffs with that.
He was
asked
to end the tenure, not to start off the tenure.
Yeah, I'm talking about the last year of him in Buffalo. So I was like very low on him last year in terms of just wherever he goes. I think he's just not going to be. It's not going to work.
He went to a good situation in Houston before
and then he did play really well in Houston, but he did also get a big injury. As well. So do I think obviously I don't know. I think Diggs coming in is going to help. You have a combo of Diggs and Henry. Damari Douglas is not bad. Without Diggs, he's 100% man. But it just depends on how you value Diggs because of the age and the injury, or does he have that reputation where okay, we know this guy's a talented guy like Kupp. If he's not on the field, he'll do his thing.
So for that reason,
that's how you look at Diggs. And I think if he's on the field, you'll be like Cooper.
Okay, so you have convinced me. I'm gonna put him in average for that reason. I think you're looking at Diggs' potential for this year specifically. From the past, we've seen how good Diggs can be from Minnesota and then in the early Buffalo days as well. He was fine with Houston before he ended up getting hurt. Obviously limited amount of times there. Like you said, Hunter Henry it doesn't get talked about enough because ever since he left San Diego or /LA, right? Yeah. He's the Patriots have been asked, right? But last year the Patriots were good. I think they're gonna make a push this year. I'm fine with them putting them there at the moment. Next up, the Cleveland Browns. Jerry Jeudy, really good year last year. Is he gonna keep that up this year with Joe Flacco being their quarterback to start? And there's gonna be a lot of switching going on there, in my opinion. And then they have David Njoku healthy. If Njoku wasn't healthy, they were here, in my opinion. But Njoku, I think, again, he doesn't get talked about as much as some of the other guys, more than Hunter Henry, in my opinion. But if Judy, because of the year Judy had last year, we're gonna go based off that a little bit. I'm down to put him here for start with.
Yeah, it depends on Judy. It really does, because great year last year, like you said, 100%. He finally broke out. But can he continue this? That's the big thing, because obviously when you're looking at wide receivers drafted in the first round, he's been one of the bigger disappointments in the NFL. But last year we saw what he can do. The question mark for him is, can he do it again? The situation for him sucks as well. Like it's gonna be hard. If Judy could pull this off again, that's how you know it's impressive, because he's probably gonna be catching passes from 4 different quarterbacks next year.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about, like, if you're solely basing on that and being a little bit high, I could see the average tier. But like, if I want to be harsh, I could go mad. But I would, if you're giving average, I'll give it to you.
Okay, I'll keep it there for now. We'll see how the rest finishes up here. Because again, Njoku is healthy, and when he is healthy, he is a productive tight end.
Yeah, we know Njoku.
Houston Texans, Nico Collins, but their wide receiver 2 is Christian Kirk, and then you obviously have Dalton Schultz. They obviously drafted 2 guys in this past year's draft. Where do you want to put them? Is it great because of Nico Collins, or you gonna put them in solid because they don't have that elite number 2?
If they didn't have Nico Collins, obviously they will probably be in meh or average. But Nico Collins puts them all the way up to solid.
Minimum solid.
Minimum solid. Yeah.
Are you putting them up higher?
I wouldn't. I don't. What depends?
Because these guys have duos.
Like Christian Kirk as a second option, we know he was good in Arizona. Somehow did good in Jacksonville as a first option. We were shitting on him with the contract they gave him, but that first year he was exceptional. He should be able to get his looks, because obviously Nico Collins didn't gain a lot of attention. Dalton Schultz is like average tight end.
I think he's solid.
He's solid to average. It's like nothing too special, but like he gets a job done.
I mean, like if you look at it here, these guys have elite duos.
Yeah,
better duos.
There's
than
no
Dunn
duo here. Yeah, there's no like elite duo here when you're looking at it.
And then these guys have a duo plus, essentially.
It's Nico Collins and like bunch of solid pieces. That's it.
All right, next up, the Kansas City Chiefs. Rashee Rice, we don't know what's happening to the suspension thing at the moment. Xavier Worthy, really good rookie year. Obviously, you're trying to see if Travis Kelce can bounce back this year. You still have Hollywood Brown. You have Juju Smith-Schuster. So they have a lot of collective.
I have respect for Kelce for enough to put him in solid. I'll say that.
Okay, they were definitely not average. I was not going to, if you want to say that.
I just have that enough respect for Kelce. Because at the end of the day, like, we know if this guy will take it serious, he's going to produce. And like you said, they have the collection of wide receivers that are just like, number 2s and number 3s. Like, we've seen Juju have success with them when they won the Super Bowl and how talented he was, that he earned a contract. Like you said, Wordy goes good last year. If Rashee Rice isn't Crashy Rice, he'll be...
that duo has the potential to go to great.
And we saw Rashee Rice last year, like, before the ACL injury pop off.
Yeah, and then like obviously his rookie year was
And obviously his rookie year, like later on, as he finished the year, he was popping off.
Okay, so potential to move up here, but we'll keep it there for right now. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys. Are they great or are they an elite? CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and then you obviously have Ferguson.
What does that tell you?
It's
elite. You have a top 5 wide receiver. You have
probably a top 5.
You have a bona fide top 20 wide receiver in George Pickens. So maybe even top 15. You could, if you could put that in there. One of the best contested catcher in the NFL.
Yeah,
I would give him that tag. Jake Ferguson's a solid tight end.
Yeah,
right. Is he like? Yeah, like just not overthink.
They have a duo plus.
Let's just not overthink it. Like, you have a top 5 and a top 20 bona fide.
Here's a weird one. The LA Chargers, I'm going to say meh to start off with. I love Ladd McConkey. He had a really good year last year. But is he at the level of some of the top ones? Like, is he at the level of Chris Olave at the moment?
No.
Is he at the level of what Jerry Jeudy did last? I guess this is the one where you could look at. But then after Ladd McConkey, who do they really have? They brought back Keenan Allen. But Keenan Allen is 2 years older.
We don't know what Keenan Allen is anymore.
Like last year he was awful. But then again, you could put that on the Chicago offense in general, led by Matt Eberflus. But then his last year with Justin Herbert, different offense, I think, because that was Kellen Moore's offense. He was elite, which is why he wanted to have that contract, and that's why they traded him.
Here's the thing, like, can he produce? Because the last time he had a good year was 2 years ago. He was
his
also
last Chargers year, yeah.
He was 2 years younger.
Yeah.
As well. So that's where the question mark comes in for Keenan Allen. Ladd McConkey as a number 1 wide receiver
it's still iffy.
It's very iffy still, right? Because it's hard to give him that tag just because, one, he did come out of nowhere last year.
He was the one last year.
Like he was the one last year, yeah, but like we didn't expect him to have that good of a year.
Yeah.
As being the second round pick and just being thrust into a position where he has to pop off, he did. Can he do that again? People know him now. So
And then-
that's the question right there. Tight ends I don't love.
Wait, it's Will Disley, right?
Yeah, like-
here's
let's
what
be
I'm
honest.
gonna say. You still have Quentin Johnson. Q drops, right? I hate making fun of players, but then like the guy,
Like,
the way he drops
was-
the ball, they drafted Trey Harris for a reason, and he's gonna be a projection guy. As of right now, ESPN has Quentin Johnson starting. If I'm looking at that, I think they're meh. I think they're below the other guys. It's just Lad McConkey for
There's
me.
too many question
Potential
marks.
to move up to average or even solid if Keenan Allen has a resurgence.
They'll move up to solid if Keenan Allen has a resurgence, or move up to average if Keenan Allen has a resurgence. But if we know Lad McConkey is still continuing his success, then yeah, they're definitely moving up for sure. But like right now, I'm gonna pump the brakes on McConkey right now just a little bit, just to see what he can really do. And if you see the first 4 weeks him be the same, then yeah, I'm convinced I'm convinced he's wide receiver 1.
Like we could potentially revisit this at the end of the year to see how it ended up finishing. But let's go up to the next one. That's the New York Jets. And listen, they have Garrett Wilson. That alone puts them here. Because if you have Olave here, I gotta put Garrett Wilson here as well.
I would agree.
After that is kind of yikes, in a way.
It's just genuine Garrett Wilson, and we'll give him the Garrett Wilson the respect.
And he's looking to have a bounce back himself.
Yeah, and we saw this guy make some incredible catches last year, but obviously it wasn't his best year. But at the end of the day, it is a contract extension, well deserved, in my opinion, for sure, for Garrett Wilson. But yeah, I'm gonna give him the respect to push him up, to carry him up a tier.
The Carolina Panthers are, again, another weird situation, right? Ted McMillan's is going to be their number 1. I think that's how they're going to end up going. We'll see how it ends up finishing, right? Xavier Legette was fine last year. Like, he got better as the weeks went on. Adam Thielen turned back the clock a little bit for his like standards, and he's obviously rumored to be traded at the moment. I believe they shouldn't. They need a vet like that.
Too many question marks.
Too many question marks. I'm putting them in meh, right? Like, Lad McConkey, we know what he kind of is at the moment. Like, we've seen something. Tyrone McMillan, we expect him to be at least Lad McConkey level, but that's projection. If you want to project, I don't mind moving him up here, but
I gotta pump the brakes. I like, let's be honest, it's a situation right now. At the end of the day, the situation right now is the same as the Chargers, unproven.
yeah.
Well, not like Chargers are different. Like Chargers, you look at bouncing back because of Keenan Allen. But McConkey as a wide receiver was unproven. Like McMillan hasn't played a snap. Like, let's be honest here. Last year we were so high on a wide receiver, he kind of dropped the ball. And Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
McMillan's, kind of.
But then on the counterattack, we saw how good Malik Neighbors was going to be. And
Yeah,
he was.
and the good news is McMillan has put together, like, his last 2 years of college were exceptional.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally exceptional. Like, he has the potential. But we can't say anything about him right now because we don't know anything about him right now. And, like, right now, if you're buying into the film, buying into the hype, buying into the, like, what he can be, yeah, for sure, they're in the freaking average or maybe even above. But that's not what it is right now. We don't have hardcore evidence that he is that guy. So because of that, I would say Matt.
Next up, if there was a trash tier, I think this is the only team that might have to be on there. Tennessee Titans are meh, right? Like, you're hoping that Cam Ward can unlock the best out of Calvin Ridley. This is no disrespect to also Tyler Lockett. He is one of the more underrated receivers in NFL history, in my opinion.
Their wide receivers are old.
Yeah, and Ridley
just
hasn't been the Ridley since
like
that
Ridley
Atlanta
hasn't,
situation.
like, if it's somehow Atlanta Ridley shows up,
then they have a chance.
yeah, then for sure. But he
potential
hasn't.
is there with Cam Ward throwing them the ball. But if you're looking strictly at the weapons at the moment, not great. Okonkwo was fine last year. Van Jefferson, like, I don't think he's a starting receiver in the NFL at this moment. Tyler Lockett, I believe, still should be a starter, but is he?
No, Van Jefferson as a 3, I think is good.
Fine, okay, yeah. But as Tyler Lockett as a 2, right? Then you have Calvin Ridley. So the good news is, like, I think Tyler Lockett's a steady guy. But again, are these guys at the level of any of these guys above them? I don't think so. But I think they have the worst group right now in the NFL. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I think that is fair.
And this is no disrespect to any of the guys there. But let's move on to our Indianapolis Colts. Similar to the Green Bay Packers, they have the strict, obviously QB does not matter in this situation, right? Strictly looking at the weapons, they have a bunch of solid pieces at all skill group positions, right? Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Alec Pierce were really good. We're hoping AD Mitchell could take a step forward this year. Then Tyler Warren, right? He was projected to be many people's tight end 1 this year. He obviously ended up going second after Colston Loveland. But is he going to reach Brock Bowers' level potential? No, but the opportunity is going to get there because Indy needs a tight end. He has the potential to be even higher, but as a collective right now, I think they're all just solid pieces.
We know when Pittman's healthy.
Yeah, last
and
year
on
had a
his game.
back thing,
Yeah.
right? So
We've seen this guy be a 1,000-yard receiver before. Josh Downs in the slot is very solid. Like, he's so shifty. Pierce as a deep threat, we saw what he did last year. Really broke out and
Contested
used his
catches,
strengths
right?
with his contested deep ball catches. A.D. Mitchell, obviously, he's having a better camp this year. If he steps up, like, obviously, this if you're looking at a wide receiver quartet, there might not be really anyone better. Almost, I think if you're looking at it as a quartet, like, obviously, if you're taking away the
Kansas City might have to be a solid one. But
yeah, if you're taking, like, looking at all four and valuing it all as, like, one. I'm not saying like, yeah, you have Jamar and Jefferson, like, they're gonna, like, obviously
they're like
they're up
They
there. They're
take
gonna
two
carry
spots,
it.
yeah.
They literally take 2 spots. But, like, if you're looking at 4 players only, like, these are, like, 4 players that could potentially be, one of the better wide receiver quartets. And obviously Tyler Warren, if we're projecting him, hopefully he is what he is in Penn State and can take the Brock Bowers jump in year 1. That could be their number 1 option right there. Tyler Warren could literally be the elite guy that they're looking for to take it over, really.
all right, yeah. Like, for them, like, any good quarterback, one of them has a group, is what we're trying
Like,
to say.
Indy has a great offensive situation.
Yeah.
Like, O-line, pretty solid as long as they're healthy and playing well. We already know Taylor.
Yeah.
And obviously, they have a collection of pass catchers that are pretty solid.
Yeah. Let's move on to the last team off the AFC South. In this case as well, it is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brian Thomas Jr. alone puts them here in average, right?
But they don't have anyone else.
That's the problem. Is Brian Thomas Jr. enough? And are you projecting Travis Hunter? Can they come up here, or do you want to keep him here because this strictly, you know what I mean? Like, is Brian Thomas Jr. has like obviously if this situation switch, if Jamar Chase was down here, we know at the minimum they'll be here just him by himself. Is Brian Thomas Jr. there yet, or is he? You have to wait to see another year that he stays an average because he's just the only guy.
I think right now he's enough for them just to carry up a tier. I won't say 2 tiers at the moment. Hunter, we don't know where he's going to play, first of all.
He's playing both sides, but we'll see where he gets
see how
more snaps
effective
on.
that will be.
But
as
right
well.
now, he's listed as wide receiver 2 after Brian
They
Thomas
did
Jr.
lose Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram did have
Yeah, Evan Ingram would have put them in
Evan Ingram,
solid.
when healthy, he was a good Jaguar.
Yeah.
He's good. He was a good tight end for the Jaguars. Yeah, I'll probably just say Brian Thomas Jr. moves him up a tier all by himself, but I won't say 2 tiers right now.
I want to
at
make
the
it
moment.
clear, if this was just Brian Thomas Jr., he's probably all the way up here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right?
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear. People are going to be like, oh, they have
this
Brian Thomas Jr. We are looking at this as a collective, right? Brian Thomas Jr. is easily by far the best receiver on the Colts. Almost any of the teams
He's
here.
better receiver than every team there.
Almost any team.
Except
Nico
for
Collins.
Neighbors.
Nico Collins.
Neighbors and Collins, yeah.
Probably, right? Like, he's an argument with JSN or whatever the case may be, right? But as a group, the Jaguars losing Evan Ingram hurts them. We'll see. If Travis Hunter has a good year as a wide receiver, they obviously
They're
could jump
definitely
up
moving
all the way
up,
to
yeah.
great even, right?
Or even if Brian Thomas Jr. continues,
But
what he's
as
doing.
of right now, as of this recording, we're strictly basing it off that, and if we're projecting McMillan like that, we got to project Travis Hunter that way as well. So Brian Thomas Jr., he's gonna have a standout year. We'll end it off there. Is there any changes you would like to make? I feel like it's fine. I think it's balanced. I don't know.
I feel like it's
We're
fine.
obviously not, again, one last thing, we're not ranking between the tiers. So, like, for example, the Saints are not the best team in that tier. We just have it there at the moment. We know that they probably move further back if that was the case. But overall, though, in terms of the tiers, are you fine with it?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I'm fine with
I
it,
think it's solid. I think it's one of our better ones.
I'm confident in this one.
Yeah.
I will clap back in the comments. So make sure you guys do comment if you guys have anything to disagree. But one of us will be responding for sure, because the running back one, I was a little bit lesser confident in some ones, but like these ones, I feel confident. I have my evidence. I have it all.
There are some
backed up.
teetering ones. We
Yeah, there are
with.
some teetering ones, but like, my mind's ready. I'm ready for the comments to see if I have my evidence back up. Here's my thoughts. I think I have that all lined up. So make sure you guys comment down below if you guys agree or disagree. Hit the subscribe button as well, because this is a pure NFL channel. NFL season starting up soon, and we have two more division previews left. So hit the bell icon if you want the NFC North and the NFC West. If your favorite teams are in there, hit the bell icon, hit the subscribe button, because we'll be talking about those teams very soon. Video popping up here is the running back tier list that we just mentioned right now. So if you guys want to go check that out, click that video right here. Other than that, we'll catch you guys over there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.